Good morning, guys. Welcome to Operation Crypto. Quick update on the markets today before I melt in my office. It's going to be roasting in the UK today. So we'll have a look at what's going on across the market since yesterday. We'll have a look at some futures in the American market, see if that's going to have any effect on Bitcoin price today. Just starting off though with a tweet that I mentioned, probably what date are we on today? I mentioned this last week. I said you might see the price rally soon and suck you into thinking that the bull run is back. Maybe 2 to 3 weeks of positive price action. In my opinion, I think you should be taking profit over the next few weeks. If you look to previous cycles, which we'll do in a second, you will see that throughout bearish periods, which we are definitely in now, we are definitely in a bearish cycle, you still get rallies within those, and we'll take a look at what's happened in the past. I still think that we have got a good 3 to 5 months of Goblin Town, which is bear market, before we see any major upside. So pumped for taking profit currently, in my opinion. So jump into the charts. I'm going to start off with a chart you've probably seen before if you follow this channel. We'll go on to the weekly time frame. Let me just line these back up. So I had the cycle lows exactly. That was right place on it there. So it was on around December. So that's where the cycle low should be if we look at history. So if you go back into the past, we'll have a look at the 2017 bull run, which then went into a year of horrific price action. Just to note that the price from all-time highs to the cycle lows, which was down here exactly 1 year after all-time highs, we dropped 85%, which is a significant amount. And previous to that, in the previous cycle, maybe 2013, 2015, the price did drop 86% as well. So that's just something to consider, that once all-time highs have been hit, there's that possibility that 3 times again it could happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's just, if you go by history and what's happened in the past, it could be something to keep your eye on. Also, what I mentioned there is bear market rallies, and it always happens. Whether in a bullish period you get down spikes, and if you're in a bearish period you get bull spikes. What happens, it's how the major holders make their money, the short and long, and switch your bias from one stage to another. So price range, if you look at this wick down here, which will look like a major capitalization wick, we did a 95% rally within a bear market. If you look at this wick here, we did a 50% rally within a bear market. You get my drift, don't you? If you look at this wick here, which wick right down, we had a 35% bear market rally. This happens, and it will continue to happen, whether you think it's going to happen or not. You might think, right, the global macro outlook looks horrific, and you're not wrong there. But it's not just going to keep going straight down. It just will not happen, because somebody is just, well, every man and his dog will just be shorting, won't the market will keep dropping. And that's it. Everyone just keep shorting and make money. It's not going to work like that. You will get these rallies. And if you look at this cycle here, so I'll just move that back up to all-time high. The all-time high was there on the 8th of November 2021. If we actually just move this line to the, let's say the 7th of November there, that's exactly 1 year after the all-time highs. If that did happen, we should be looking at cycle lows around November. If you're looking though at the previous all-time high, and you were looking for an 85% drop, you're looking at a 9 to 10k Bitcoin. Personally, I don't think it'll happen, and that's mainly just due to institutional involvement and adoption. I think a lot of people are starting to use Bitcoin. The payment system is unfaltered, it works. I know it's a little bit slow, but it is what it is. It's going to be that store of value. So for me, I don't think we'll quite get there. And sometimes you got to think, right, should I start buying now, or should I just wait till zero? And a lot of people will, like we did up here, a lot of people were waiting for 100k. A lot of people here are waiting for 9k, 3k. I've seen it all over the place. People just seem to think it's going to go lower and lower and lower. And when the major holders make their money is when they've got everybody's believe something's going to happen, and then switch their bias instantly like that. So just be wary of that. Cycle lows and bottoms and all that people keep talking about. I want to show you something here. So usually, let's have a look at a different chart actually. Can we take a look at that one? Yeah. So whenever a bottom is formed, it always is shown by a huge wick to a downside. On my weekly time frame, the 3-day time frame is usually a better one. I mean, if you look at this back into March of 2020, major wick to the downside, and then went to push on. And if you look at these previous wicks here on the bear market, that bull market, where major wicks to the downside, which got bought straight up. If you look at this bottom here, it was a major wick to the downside and pushed back up. If you're looking now at this candle on a 3-day time frame, for me that looks like one of those candles that you think, that looks like a bottom. We've had that major capitalization wick down to a bottom. Every man and his dog fought over and sold up. I'm not going to say that that will is the bottom, but it just shows that in history things like that can be something potentially significant. So that's thoughts on the market, and that's thoughts of that. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bottom, but it just gives you that indication that things like that do happen when a bottom is formed. Personally, I think that we're still going to keep going lower. I mean, we've got those cycle lows here, and we're looking for a bear market rally. I mean, I'm looking at this region here. This wick, hopefully we test that 26k region, and then we do start to push on. So I'm looking for something very similar to this. We've regained this area. We're looking for a nice push up to here, and then maybe a slow rally down. Who knows, maybe a few more bounces in that, with a few more bull rallies within that bearish period, and then we start pushing on after that year. May not happen. I know everything that's going on in the world. We've got war, we've got pandemics coming up left, right and centre, and we've had the after effects of COVID. We've got a housing market potentially crashing. There's so many bearish narratives going on that you would expect no upside, but just have that inkling in the back of your mind that Bitcoin could be that hedge against all financial systems, and that's why we're here, really, aren't we? We are to get away from those corrupt banksters, get away from corrupt governments, and Bitcoin is that reason. It gets away from all those other reasons. So I'm holding Bitcoin. I will always hold Bitcoin. I've got a little bit of a swing bag which I'm using to accumulate Bitcoin. So that's that. So that's a potential scenario we're looking at. I mean, if you're looking to trade it currently on this time frame here, and we drop right down to the hourly. I'm not sure what these two lines are. Let's get rid of that a second. Have a zoom in. So yeah, that was my entry. I did an entry there yesterday and I got stopped out, so that's cap up now. That was the level I was aiming for. So looking at current price action, we are pretty much ranging within this period now. I mean, let's see, that's a high range, and that's the lower range there, and we are pretty much around that equilibrium, which is this here. So if you look at EQ, we're pretty much hanging into that central range of that trading area. If we manage to stay above here, and we're looking to target that 22,800 region, I think that's a decent level for you to target. Depends what happens when we hit that. We've got not much liquidity in this area, so that's why I've got this region here. I think it's a nice major level of support all the way back here. Look at all those bounces. So that's an area we could push up to 28k. It might be a little bit too much of a stretch, to be honest, with current market conditions and what's going on, but that's an area I'm looking at here. Firstly, potential long up to 22,800. If we lose this level, you're coming back down to the bottom here around 17k. So let's fingers crossed that doesn't happen quite yet. I think it may happen in the future, but not quite yet. Just finally, we'll look at the Nasdaq futures, and that's slightly down on trading, and the SPX ES is down slightly on trading there on futures. But yesterday they was both down too, and then we went to rally towards the end of the day. So if they manage to turn to the green, usually that's a good sign for Bitcoin. And looking at the dollar, it's actually pumping at a minute. I'm still expecting a little bit of downside from the dollar, to be honest. We did have a bit of a top here which formed, now we are pushing down. If the dollar can come back down towards this region, we're looking for a nice drop around here. Hopefully we can get some decent relief on the crypto markets down at that level. So let's see, we need a weak dollar, we need a strong Bitcoin, and then that in tandem will bring the rest of the market up, and then look to take some profits over the next few weeks, in my opinion. But that's it, that's just some thoughts on the market. If you're new to this channel, please make sure that you are subscribed, hit that like button, and I'll catch you next time.